food. In our culture, food is never to be sold. There was no question of any restaurants and hotels. Even though travel used to be happen, food used to be, every traveler used to get the food from households and even the temples. Food is never to be sold. It's a culture which was introduced by British in 1800 something. Before that, every temple used to provide the food for the travelers, pilgrims.
Oh, Swamiji quoted, you very true. Swamiji quoted, there are communities. In Andhra also there is a community, it seems, which does not sell even milk, even though they make milk. They don't sell ghee, milk and all that. They just do something with it. They just give it off to temples or whatever. That community doesn't sell food. Correct. Amuji's point. Food cannot be sold. That's it.
Even in a small village, even there is nothing is there. The pujari who takes the food which is prepared for the Nevedyam, he shares that food with the guests. Or is there, or the pujari himself prepares food for the 2, 3 people. If somebody comes for what you call worshipping in the temple, he will just make an inquiry. How long you are going to be there? Are you somebody relatives nearby, near something? He'll ask your program and he'll say, have food at my home and go.
Yeah, so correct. The family of that Purohita, they cook the food. Nevedyam for the Bhagavan comes only from them. You can't bring your food and say, no, please give Nevedyam. They won't touch all that. They won't do all that. Even the Badhyas, the people who come home for to do Shraddha and Tarpanam Adi, Shraddha and all, we are supposed to give a bhiksha. Elaborate food must be given. But these days, some of our homes and all, we can't even cook. Forget about cooking and elaborate, Shraddha, compliant meals. So they will we just give dakshina and they just walk away. And even if you cook food, they will say no. They will say no, no, it's fine. We will take care of it.
There is no sanctity in purchasing sweetmeats and all from the shops nearby the temple. Even many temples, they don't allow food brought from outside. For the temple Nivedya, the food is cooked inside the temple only by the priest.
Yeah, in all the Kerala temples, it is like that.
Yeah. So sanctity of food. Definitely for Nevedyam, it has to be ultra sacred. Nothing can be spared. Cooking after taking a shower and then being clean, muddy, all these things they will follow. There's so many things. Kosher. That's the way to do it.
Till recently,
Madapalli and all were there, no? So
Madapalli is
till recently they used to cook in the firewood only. Now the gas has been introduced.
Yeah, so we have to be practical and so do what is practical today. Understand the past, understand how it was, why they did what they did, and keep that as an ideal. And we'll do our best at home, etc. Yeah.
I mean, if you go to temples like Suchindram or Rameshwaram, in the outside Prakaram, they have you get an idea how they were serving food in the outer. You have huge, like toti, which they used to heap buttermilk. And my grandfather used to say that's where they used to serve in Suchindram. There is a lot of such temples like that. Even, for example, Padmanabha Swami temple has got that in Trivandrum.
So
that was the time. It was
one of the persons in our Gita home study group in our Houston, right, Bel Air, and she used to be from Suchindra. So she used to tell a lot of this, and she used to be very aware of all the nuances about food and what to be offered, how it should be offered, and whether the first time I heard those kinds of.
Yeah, and today I could see that in Udupi Krishna temple. When I went to Udupi, the size of the vessel, virtually I can sit inside that. So, or more. So huge. I couldn't imagine. In next few years, maybe that also will be gone. So
Many big temples in Tamil Nadu also the government is offering food, free food. Even in in that Coimbatore, that Marudhamane, they offer food, free food. There's this thing by the government.
In Karnataka, most of the temples give food. Kolluru, Shringeri, all the places. Lunch and dinner is
even
served.
the Udupi Krishna temple in Houston,
Dharma-
every time you go there, they will force you to take food.
Sapna, go ahead.
What was the mantra you referred to before for introducing verse 8?
So, many mantras, right?
No, you started with the in between I got it, but the one which you started with?
Sahara Shuddho, Sattva Shuddhi, and all you got that, right? That you got. Okay. Then,
I think she's referring to the definition of Annam.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಸಂಧ್ಯಾವಂದನ ಮಂತ್ರ I quoted. Apah punantu prithivim prithvi, puta punatu mam is there. Punantu brahmanaspatit brahma, puta punatu mam. So, apah punantu prithivim prithvi, like that. It's a long mantra. So that Ramoji can send that mantra. So that's a very interesting. Talks about food. Papam gained by eating the wrong foods. That's one mantra I quoted. Then Aghamarshana Sukta mantra. Okay. That one also. Then Parannam Prana Sankatam I mentioned. Then we talked about it, Pasitya, etc. Then the Chandogya Upanishad mantra I quoted. Ashitamannam. Veda Vidiyate. So, Ramaji, maybe you can
I'll
circulate that. Unless you have something else in mind specifically.
No. Can I ask the second question that I have? So here there's so much talk about sattvic people consuming a certain kind of food, right? But we've also talked about Brahmarpanam Brahmahari. Right? So is it that this sattvic person is already a karma yogi?
So the sattvic person may not know he or she is a karma yogi, need not be a karma yogi. Because karma yoga is asking for a lot. And sattvic person means a person is definitely more alert than most people. Okay. And a person may not be exposed to the Shastra. Because for karma yoga, some exposure to the Shastram is needed. Otherwise, you don't know. You don't know. And so, we don't need to bring karma yogi here. Just say, there are many people who have sattvic, they know a lot about diets and things like that. They are not karma yogis. They are very conscious about health, highly health conscious. So much that they know a lot about every food that is out there. But they have nothing to do with Brahma Vidya. So we will bring in Brahma Vidya because we will say that should be the Sattvam should take us towards that, we will say. But since he is only talking about food, we can include others also. We can include everybody. Yeah.
The reason I got this doubt is because it's coming in the 17th chapter, right? It's late so Krishna. So we've already talked about karma yoga. We've already talked about. He's already talked about so many. He's even referred to food, attitude, intention. So now bringing up this, there has to be a connect with the what he said before, right? It cannot be just for just any sattvic person. That's what
Yeah,
came to mind.
that is one way of thinking. That's one way of thinking. And when Krishna is talking, he assumes that moksha is there in our view. He assumes that. He's talking to Arjuna. So, moksha is already there in view. So, otherwise, what will happen? We'll just take the 17th chapter out from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is out there. And then here, just a few verses within the Bhagavad Gita. And then focus on food, 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 food. It'll become.
This
That
is
also
the
can.
this is the struggle I have is there's we're always going back and forth, back and forth. Moksha is the goal, but we keep going back and forth, back and forth. And so sometimes one can, if one is not alert, we can get lost in this back and forth, right?
Yeah, correct. It is always back and forth. For us, it is not back and forth. Back and forth because of circumstances are back and forth. People we are relating to are back and forth. Suppose somebody comes in, just generally out of the blue asks you, Auntie, what is sattvic food? I want to know. What will you say? You're not going to bring in the whole, okay, smindivida nishta, pura prokta mayanaga, jnana yogena sankhyanam. No, you can't start like that. Sattvic food. Simple question. What is sattvic? So you just talk about sattvic food. Whatever we know about sattvic food, we will talk about that. That's about it. That's it. And so there we are not talking about moksha now. But depending on the interest, audience, etc., everything is going to come. So it's okay. That back and forth will always be there somewhere. Back and forth is not, my nishtha is not shaky back and forth. Nishtha is steady. That is why I can go back and forth based on, I can adapt to what's going on. That is the back and forth. That is the game. That is the game we are playing. That is like a dancer. Like a dancer. Back and forth. But she is in full control. 100% control. She'll cry suddenly. Then she'll smile. Back and forth. So that kind of back and forth we can accept. But we can't accept back and forth in our vision. Vision can't be like. I hope that's the question you were asking.
Yes. Dhanyavadam.
Yeah. Yeah, Maheshji, go ahead.
So in sloka number 6, in my book, it says, I heard you saying karshayantaha. Here it says karshayantaha. Are they both are same? I
Shiva,
guess?
it is Shivasha. That's how it should be.
Okay, in my book is Shanmugam Shah.
Yeah, that's not correct.
That's not correct. Okay. Like Krishi Karsha.
Correct. So now, even though if it is Karsha, I thought about it. I thought about this 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago. I thought about it, and I was thinking. See, one particular website was saying Karshayanta. It is a trustworthy website, and so I was a bit thrown aback because of that. And so, how can it be Karshayantaha? When the Bhagavad Gita book and Swamiji, everybody says Karshayantaha. Svasha is there. Somehow, is there a way to justify Shah? Also, I was thinking. Because Shah is tilling, agriculture, that kind of thing. Plowing the land, etc. So, can I say plowing is the same as torturing the body? I was thinking along those lines. But I thought that was too much of a stretch. I don't want to spoil the meaning of the word karsha by saying torture and all.
Yeah, I'll check that Chinmayanandaji's book and see what.
Yeah, check and let me know, please.
Mahodaya, does
it? One other question.
Not,
one second. Mahesh, one second.
In the same subject, karsha comes from the root word krish, right? To plow.
So Haraji, this is the question, right? So the question, there are 2 karshas, not just one. Shanmukha Shah, Shashti Shah is there. That is one Karsha. But this shloka does not have that Sha. It is Karsha, Shivasha. Okay. So some books will say Karshayantaha, like the agriculture Karsha. But the Sha that I am talking about is Karsha. Gita Press Sha is Karsha, Shivasha, not the Shanmukha Sha. Okay. And so that is not tilling agriculture, etc. That is
okay.
not the sense of weakening, emaciating, etc.
Okay.
That's the word.
My book says is a Murdanya Shakara.
Yeah, so it is, we are guessing here that it is not, it can't be more than Yashakara. Okay, the books I've seen, the most Swamiji's talks and this Gita Press book and all say Sha, Shiva Sha. So, Shiva Sha is what? Shiva Sha is what? That Sha is more than Ya. This Sha is, if that Sha is more than Ya Sha, this Sha is, unmute yourself.
Talavya, no?
So,
Kanta.
not Kanta, Talavya, Talavya. Cha, cha, ja, ja, na, that category. Talavya. Talavya. Check it out.
Yeah, I checked the Chinmayanandaji's book. It says Karshayanda, just like what you said.
Okay, Shivasha.
Yes.
Shivasha. Okay. Good.
Yeah, this is this book.
Okay. Okay. I see. That's good. That's good.
And another question I have is on this, the one last, the sloka just now we did, number 8. Snigdaha means what? Oily food? Or so are they referring to nuts or something which contains oil?
So even see,
Not a
nuts.
fried food, but
Yeah.
which
So
naturally contains oil, like a peanut or walnut or almond.
Correct. So all these grains and all these nuts, they have oily foods. Nuts are highly recommended. Our Vedanti people, they love nuts. They go nuts over nuts, I think. But they're also moderation. Everywhere moderation. Everywhere moderation. So the corollary is that foods which are not nuts, say, have put some oil, put some ghee in it and cook so that don't leave it dry. Like that's the corollary of this word. Stick.
Okay. Another thing is this hridya means that which suits the body. Is that what it means, or is it? I don't know where we said comfort.
That which pleases your heart.
We said nourishing and.
It's a comfort. It's the way I translated it. Swamiji's translation here is comfort and pleasure. It says comfort, but it should be visually pleasing. Because the other things have been covered already in the previous words. So in order to give a distinct and unique word to this, since Krishna is saying it, can't be wrong, it can't be a duplication, it can't be redundant in the same shloka. So we are saying it should be visually pleasing also.
Oh,
visually attractive.
Because the comfort food can mean, at least in this country, bad things. So.
Oh, bad food, huh?
Yeah, comfort food is like, ice cream or donuts or something like that. Sugar,
Okay,
which gives
let's scratch off the word comfort. Scratch off that. So visually hridya. So immediately when you look at the food, immediately you feel good, even before having food.
So basically a presentation of the food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Now, last one is
that means, that means, Mahesh, if you are cooking in your home today, then you have to say, today for us for dinner, we have some sliced brown bread, and then toasted on a dash of ghee, and then which gives a nice aroma. We've not had it in a long time. And then for garnishing, I've made some pudina chutney Like that, talking also is part of this vidya.
That's why it's
I
called
mean, that's why in the restaurants and all, they put some green leaves on the top of the food to make it appear.
Definite.
Rasas should be included.
Huh?
Rasas should be included.
What should be included?
Shad rasas.
Oh, Shad
Oh,
Rasa.
Shad Rasas. That comes in the next sloka.
In fact, there was one famous marriage food supplier in Chennai. He was called Arusuvai.
Arusuvai.
Arusuvai is some name. I don't remember his name. Arusuvai something.
Arusuvai Natarajan.
Okay.
Arusuvai Natarajan.
Okay, that is correct.
Is it
Now his sons are doing it.
Is he the one who is popular today? That comes on TV and
No,
all?
he is no more, Mahodaya.
No more.
He is no more, Mahodaya.
Oh, no more. No
He is
more.
no more.
There's a
His
nice
sons are doing nowadays.
the short, plumpy guy who comes and he talks very well. I don't know his name and all.
Yeah.
Once I
He's
saw.
from Bangalore.
Okay.
Venkatesh Bhatt? You're talking about Venkatesh Bhatt?
Venkatesh Bhatt. Yeah, Venkatesh Bhatt. He's Venkatesh Bhatt.
Okay. Could be.
He is not a marriage counselor.
He's a chef.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, Jagamarji, one other thing. You talked about, not in the sloka, but when we talked about the food, you said uchishtam, abhojyam, and all that. And I remember in one time in Chinmaya Mission in Houston, one of the Swamiji said, he mentioned this, some of the things what you stated about uchishtam and all. He said the advent of refrigerator completely spoiled our way of life. So, because before that he said there was no uchishtam because there is no way to store the food.
You had to consume. Correct.
He said if you want sattvic food, good food, get rid of the refrigerator. That's what he said.
Many people say that.
Swamiji mentioned this because every day evening they used to give whatever is left out as dhanam to someone who comes. Even
and now these days, insulin and all is there, and you have to keep it somewhere. And so you need some, at least for medicines. At least for medicines, you need a refrigerator. Forget food. Okay, even if you say somehow I'll manage without vegetables, fruits, and all that, I'll keep them outside, whatever. But this thing is there. So yeah, I think these are all good ideas to think about, and we can definitely adapt and improve our lifestyle based on these. Anything else? Okay, pause with that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraya Amrita Kalacha Hastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanataya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
धन्यवाद.